Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So the word I'm considering today is enough. When I really think about that word, I find it quite difficult to put into words the sensation I get from it, the sense of a chasm that almost cannot be filled. Because how do we measure enough? I mean, in a really practical sense, if you wanted to measure enough, you might, in a recipe, there might be some real kind of logistics around something that is to do with enough. So if I want to make a cup of tea, there has to be a certain amount of water. It has to be enough water in the cup to make a cup of tea. But even then, maybe if you like your tea really strong and like a shot, like an espresso, then maybe you don't like a lot of water. But generally around those practical things, in order for a cake to taste sweet, there needs to be enough sugar. But I guess even then there would be an element of perspective, wouldn't there, on how sweet we might like our cake to be. Like, I quite like really dark chocolate, really dark, so it's almost bitter. My dad, bless him, he liked the 99% cocoa, so enough sugar for him was nothing. and other people like milk chocolate or even white chocolate, which to me isn't really chocolate anyway. But that's a conversation for a different day. When we think, but that's not really that's really trivial stuff, isn't it? But where we think about the word enough, often to do with ourselves or other people, it seems huge. It seems like it's got a lot riding on it. Like there's a lot of pressure around it. I mean, we're of self-development. The concept of being enough, the affirmation, I am enough, the sense that because perhaps sometimes we don't feel enough, that we then don't act in a way in which we are going to fulfill ourselves. So my narrative was that I had some difficulties that arose from gaining a brother when I was quite little, that meant that I then didn't feel like I was enough because I'd been somehow replaced. This is not a judgment of my parents at all. This is some nonsense that I revealed in various bits of work I did on myself. And that idea that I never quite felt like I was enough then. And so this concept of self-sabotage and procrastination and everything came into my life as a concept of why I behaved the way I behaved. It was because I didn't think I was enough. And then I did a lot of work around that, including writing I am enough all over mirrors in my house. Only recently cleaned that off in the last couple of years. But who decides it? I guess there are some elements in society that we can look to where there is this concept of what's enough and what isn't. What's enough work, what's enough effort in your business, what's enough money, enough clients. But I guess this is another area where we're perhaps creating an idea of what enough looks like and then trying to make life fit that. And perhaps feeling sometimes that if we haven't achieved that enough target, that we're lacking in some way. But what even is enough? How do we decide what enough is? Maybe it's by tasting. Like what I said before about chocolate, and some people liking 99% dark chocolate and other people liking something that has very little, has had a cocoa bean waved at it. The levels of sweetness between the two are huge, huge differences. And maybe where we are picking up our concept of enough from outside of us, from society, from something we think it should look like because we kind of got an idea from watching something or reading something that somebody else's wisdom had created. We get a sense, well, this amount of money is enough. And I'll tell you now, being a coach, there's a strong message out there about what's enough, money. There's so much promotion around that area. I see it a lot. But maybe if the flavouring, if the tasting is coming from us, maybe if we decide what's enough, and maybe we only decide that for a short period of time. But even then, as I'm saying that, it feels like it's unfolding in front of me, this idea of enough. Like I can't quite see it because it's so immeasurable, it's so personal to each and every one of us that it's kind of not really becoming as clear to me as I thought it was, which is interesting. Because I think it's like the size of the universe, enough, isn't it? Like, it's not measurable. And in each moment, if we're measuring all the time, then there's a place, isn't there, where we're going to either come from a sense of, yes, it's enough and it's great and it's fine as it is, or we're going to come from that place of lack. And that place of it not being good enough, and us therefore not being good enough. And I know as I think about that, where I see it's not enough, I feel a heaviness and a sense of lack and a not feeling good enough about myself. And where I just go, well, it must be enough because it is what it is, and loving that isness, that what that is right now, and that being okay. Then there's some lightness, and then there's less on my mind, and there's an opportunity to step forward and take the next step towards whatever might be unfolding in life. As soon as I say something is not enough, then there is this heaviness, this weight, this discomfort that doesn't feel like a place I really want to spend an awful lot of time. I don't know about you, but I certainly don't. So maybe, that word, the word enough, again, when I think about it, it doesn't exist other than in thought. It's not a word it's not something you can put in a wheelbarrow. It is just a perception. And so the meaning that you give that word, the meaning you give enough, what you think is enough or not enough, that is for you. And it's for you to know that it is thought, that it is perception, that there is no reality around this idea of enough. Just like there is no reality over how much is enough sugar in a bar of chocolate. You know, for those who like the strong stuff, 0% sugar is enough. And for those who like the sweet stuff, they're going to want it like 50% sugar, aren't they? It's just totally different. And maybe if we come at the idea of enough in the rest of our lives, in our businesses, in our relationships, and our actions in the world, with that level of lightness, how much more pleasant is that going to be? And as always, this is just a space for you to bring some awareness, to bring some curiosity, to see how this, or whether this makes sense to you. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.